Hey everybody, welcome into the Beehive. I'm your host, the Bee at LLC, and this is where we stack precious metals like it's pollen and nectar. Our pollen is silver, our nectar is gold, preserving our wealth as honey of old, and like ancient metals, we hold our own. Today I want to talk a little about health and wealth. Ancient metals, we hold our own. And sounds like we got a little feedback over there, and I got
Yeah,
Tiger Stacker with me here today, bringing in some echo.
welcome,
How
brother.
we doing, Tiger?
I'm okay. That was me. I'm still learning how to turn the doggone computer off.
No worries, no worries. I go through that struggle myself. So, no worries. In fact, I just had to pick myself up a new laptop because it was just my old one was not performing anymore. And you're trying to do a live stream with somebody and you can't share a page like you want to.
Well, yeah, I've been there. Like about a year or so ago, I got this new laptop. Um, One of the things that I realized I couldn't do anymore was I couldn't run the wheel of names.
Yeah.
It's because the computer RAM or whatever was so bogged down. So I had to get one that had more memory power. So it happens, especially if you're going to try to go ahead and try to run a YouTube channel. And the more sophisticated you get, the more powerful your computer needs to be.
Yep. Yep. And it's just like everything else. It seems like they make it to where you have to buy their new product every other year or whatnot. So,
There's some truth with that.
but anyway, so yeah, lots been going on since last I was on. But silver and gold have both pulled back a fair bit. Have some people on edge. It's not really bothering me none, but a lot of big events have taken place anyway, that's for sure.
Oh yeah,
So
taking curves that turns that I did not expect.
yeah,
The
well,
Iran, usually with a kinetic war, you see prices go up in metals, not down. With the oil going up, usually you'd see the metals go up, not down. Um, the way that they've been interacting looks more and more to me like there is more manipulation rather than what historically always seems to happen.
yes, I think you hit the nail on the head, and surprisingly, people would. That's kind of backwards thinking, but I think that you're actually getting it right, and it's the manipulation that's getting us in this position we're in, where we're seeing these big moves, and I think they're doing just what you're pointing out. They're just hitting the market even harder than normal. There's the largest shorts in silver ever right now, and I think that they're just using that paper kind of one to two maybe last few times here to knock it down to get on the right side of things. And I think that it's the reversal will be strong and fast, just like this last run up we had. I think when this turns around, it'll run another good leg like it just got done doing. So and I've been told I don't mess in the paper market much, but I've been told that if you're in the paper market and you need liquidity, like if the market goes down on you, like it just has, that the first place you run for liquidity is gold and silver in the paper, because they can cash out. You can actually pull your money out of gold and silver, whereas these other accounts take a couple days, where they allow gold and silver to be pulled out in a much faster fashion. So that just kind of automatically causes silver to drop when the market drops, as people try to cover their positions, is what I've heard. So
there's a lot of truth with that. I've never done any of the paper markets for gold and silver. The only thing I've ever done as far as types of stocks, types of things, is I've done junior miners, senior miners, and royalties. So
okay,
um, And they've done pretty well up until recently. They've had a recent decrease also. I've been a little bit disappointed with that. In fact, I'll just go ahead and open my phone. I got half of my stuff in Robinhood and the other half in Charles Schwab, because you can't do everything in Robinhood.
Yeah.
So
yeah, well, what's been performing the best for you so far? I know, the miners are starting. Go ahead.
By far, uranium.
Yeah, sure.
Uranium has really, really done a bang-up job.
Yeah, I can imagine.
In fact, one of the things that I've had an interview twice now with a fellow by the name of Jesse Day.
Yeah.
He does commodity culture. You should know him since we're all familiar with Ian, and Ian's his sponsor.
Yeah.
But he has, he's a huge uranium bug.
Yeah.
And he understands it really, really well. It's the one commodity he knows more. He knows a lot, but this one, he's an expert on.
Okay.
So if I can put a plug in,
yeah,
you all go to my channel and watch the most recent release, which is the interview I had with Jesse Day. We covered some really cool topics: prices of silver, gold, refining. Plus, we also talked a lot about uranium and what's going on with the Iranian war. So there's a lot of really good subjects in there. And, part of the reason I'm doing a plug is because I really want to build my channel up to being a big channel. But more importantly than that, part of the reason I'm doing a plug is because I want the information out there. And I think Jesse Day has a lot to offer to our community. He is a stacker, but he is also a person who does the paper markets. He does the ETFs. He does the junior miners. He pretty much goes all over the place, and he understands a lot more than us straight stackers. And I consider myself more of a straight stacker than
me as well. Yep.
Than someone who's doing a lot. I got plus or minus about $500 in each of my my stocks that I've got. And to give you an example, now I haven't looked at my stocks here in a little while, but Gold Royalty, I'm at 34% profit. Gold Mining, I'm at 8% profit. A lot of these have come down recently. Uranium Royalty, 14% profit. Uranium Energy, 176. At one time, it was over 300. Vizsla used to be a profit, but ever since the murder of the miners by the Mexican cartel, they've lost a lot. And I think that's probably going to fix itself when they get everything straightened out over there. But that's 25% down. Gold Mining up in Alaska is 4% down. Now, First Majestic, I'm up 86%. Dolly Varden, I'm down 30%. That's a huge drop. I used to be up. Like I said, since the markets have been manipulated, a lot has come down. Tungsten used to be one of my bigger ones, but now it's in a loss. Like I said, there has been, because of this war, things have switched. Roxmore is up 6%. Argenta Silver is a 44% loss. It used to be about 5% profit. Giant Mining is also a loss, and Vanguard also has dropped down to a loss. I think these are going to reverse once people either get used to this war or the war comes to an end. So I'm holding and waiting.
Yeah. Well, you got a fair amount in paper in different miners there.
Yeah.
And I agree. I would not take this volatility right around the beginning of this war, plus all the other things they're trying to implement. I wouldn't worry too much about it. Like you're saying, I'd give it some time. I think you'll be fine there.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to start learning when to pull out. Just like a teenage boy with a new girlfriend, I gotta learn when to pull out.
Yeah, you got to learn that early on, man. That's
Ain't that the truth?
So yeah. So what did Jesse think about the pullback in metals? Since you just talked to him, what did he have to say about the recent pullback? Did you touch
Well,
that topic?
he also seems to think that everything's going to start correcting.
Yeah.
But the war has really got things very interesting. And I would love. I haven't talked to him a whole lot since the newest developments. It'd be really cool to see what he thinks, but I'm not that surprised. He just recently interviewed a lady. I started watching it, but I was so tired that I ended up falling asleep. Not that he was boring; they weren't boring. It's just that I sometimes get fatigued a little faster, and I got to go back and after I'm caffeinated, go back to where I remember and go on from there. But
Yeah.
he had a really big, powerful name. Some lady in there on his channel about uranium, and it would be really cool to go back there and watch him again. Because he's done. Between him and her, I'm sure there's going to be some exceptional pearls of wisdom.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, it's pretty cool. You're getting to talk to Lynette, and you say you got a live with IS International Stacker tomorrow. Did I get that right? So
We're going to be talking with International. I've got a whole bunch of really great questions waiting for him, and since he has a really good sense of humor, I'm going to tease him a little bit. So I'm not going to let everyone know what the teasing is going to be or the questions, because I really want you all to come and see it. It's going to be a really good time. Plus, on top of it, the guy is super charged. I swear to God, he's got to be the grandchild of the Energizer Bunny.
All right. Yeah, that guy can just go and go, huh? What time are you going on?
8 p.m. Eastern.
Okay, cool. Good time. Well, yeah, hopefully everybody will make it over there and check that out. Yeah, I like International Stacker. Been watching him for a long time. So
yeah, I think I'm somewhere around 39 months with him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was even remember when he wasn't putting out stuff.
Yeah, there was quite a space there where he dropped off. But I was going to say, yeah, I've been with him, I've been watching him quite a bit longer than that. I mean, he's one of those early channels. He's been around for quite a while.
Well, you know why he disappeared on us, don't you?
Well, are you talking about the missus?
Yeah, he when we were watching him before he met his wife, he was always saying how he wants to find Mrs. IS. Well, then he disappeared. Then he did a short video where he showed the engagement ring on her finger.
Yep.
Then he did a video where they're on a Ferris wheel over in Gatlinburg after they got married. And then he disappeared for a little longer, and then he's come back full force. I guess what he wanted to do was have a honeymoon period, and when you get married, you should have a honeymoon period.
For sure. Gotta.
Yeah. And then on not only because of the honeymoon, but also because of the fact that you want to settle down. There's something in my form of Christianity where the church pretty much tells the new couple, don't do anything really new or get involved in your normal stuff for about a year. Take a year, just grow together and go from there. And sure. I'm assuming that's what he did, and that's what he should have done. So now he comes back. He is going stronger than ever. He's confirmed what I found out on Backyard Bullion. Backyard Bullion did a piece where he said he hasn't had a real job in 10 years because of YouTube and all that. And plus, what his business of buying and selling precious metals, he's able to support himself and his wife. And he mentioned in that video the international stacker has left his regular job, which international is confirmed on his own channel that says that this is my real job now. Blah blah blah. Do you know how much I would love to be in that position?
Well, hopefully you're on your way.
It'd be kind of nice because, instead of being home because of the disease I've got, no one wants to hire a doctor with cancer getting chemo. I would love to have a steady income and, doing something I love to do, which is YouTube, because you all make, making videos fun.
Right.
Watching your comments, watching, people tell me I put out some good content, some educational stuff. It makes doing this fun. It doesn't seem like it's a job.
Right. Welcome in Think Differently 3000. We got Sublime Mad Dog joining us. Good to see you. Alan Satoshi Greenspan, always good to see you. Space Mino, welcome in. Rockamos, thanks for being here. Jared Johnson, good to see you. Don't think I've seen you in here. Thanks for being here. So that's one thing I wanted to touch on a little bit is health. Like, I've been impressed with how you handled your health issue and your channel. I was brave coming out the way you did, and you handled it really well, and you're fighting through it very well. So I just wanted to say I'm impressed with how you're handling that, and keep up the good work. I know you're not completely out of the weeds, but I think you got a big portion of the hard part out of the way. Am I right there, or how are you feeling? How are you looking?
We'll see how it goes. I'll give you a short synopsis.
Yeah.
It was about a year ago. My wife noticed something was wrong with my left chest, and I looked at it, and the nipple was pointing in the 3 o'clock position. It was dimpled over here, so I knew exactly what I had. And then we went to the family doctor, then the oncologist and the surgeon who did a biopsy. We confirmed it was ductal carcinoma, which is the most common form of breast cancer. 1% of all breast cancers are in men. So we went through all that and all the testing. I found out I'm stage 4, but a weird stage 4. I only have it in one spot, my right hip. So I went through 6 rounds of combination of 2 rounds of chemotherapy, 2 rounds of immunotherapy at the same time. I was in the facility minimum 6 hours every 3 weeks. The first three doses didn't bother me as much. The third one started to. Then the 4th, 5th, and 6th started affecting me a little bit more, with more fatigue, more diarrhea. It started really messing with me, gave me horrible acne. I'll share something with you because I've had some people give me a hard time because of the gloves, and I did it mainly for
gloves.
That's right. So basically, what happened was, it started affecting my nails. Okay, I'll show you, because if you look at it, the nails are just messed up, and they're healing because I've been off chemo for a little bit. So I lost my toenail on my left big toe. Just all sorts of combination of minimal problems. The worst one was probably the fatigue and the diarrhea, and occasionally dehydration and electrolyte imbalance. Last dose was December 1. Then I was off chemo and immunotherapy, and January 7th, I had a mastectomy, and I told them to take the right side too, because I had enough of this disease. I didn't want them to have more tissue to come back on later, so take out the food supply, so to say. Then starting late February, early March, I had 5 doses of radiation in my right hip. I've had 16 doses of radiation in my left chest and left armpit. The last one was Monday of this week. I was supposed to start chemotherapy today, but the oncologist called and said he doesn't want me getting the second round of chemo until April the 2nd. He wants me to have some downtime after the radiation. He thinks it's going to affect me negatively. But, basically I was supposed to go into just the two forms of immunotherapy, but although I had some really good news, one piece of news was not good. The lymph nodes, including the one that was proven to have a positive, were all negative for cancer, and the margins of the tissue was negative. That's good.
Good.
The margin where they took the main body of the cancer out was negative for cancer, but the mass that was the cancerous mass still had active cancer cells in it. Subsequently, instead of me getting two immunotherapies, which they would go after the receptors on the cancer cells, which I'm estrogen positive, progesterone positive, and a third one called HERS2 positive. It's good to have the positives because it gives more avenues to attack the cancer. But instead of being on two immunotherapies every 3 weeks, they're converting me over to one type of a chemotherapy starting on the 2nd. I'm going to be on that possibly 1 or 2 years and periodically getting checked on for that. I never in a million years ever thought I would ever not be a workaholic. I was telling you this a little while before we started. I've been thinking a lot about my grandfather. He was raised in a much better era, born in the 1800s, 1890s. When I knew him, I think he was 71 years old when I was born, died at 89. And he had retirement from the Navy, retirement from the coal mines, plus getting Social Security. Much smarter preparation for his elderly age than what I was. I just figured I'd just barrel my way and bust my way through everything and just work like a pig.
Yeah.
Thank God for me waking up 5 years ago and starting to stack.
Right.
I was a horrible saver. And I'm able to pay my bills because of this stuff. And when I was stacking hard.
Yeah, I remember some of the auctions we were competing in.
Oh yeah, yeah.
No joke.
You and a few other people would call me what would you guys call me? A heavyweight or something like that?
Yeah, I think I had several names for you, but they were all vicious. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah, especially when we were competing against each other.
No doubt.
So I still laugh my butt off every time you made me pay the maximum dollars for that 10-ounce silver bar.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Yeah, that's when I realized I needed to make friends with you. Not because you made me pay more money, it just made me feel bad that it felt like there was not a friendship there.
Yeah, that was so funny. I wish everyone would have been able to have seen that one. That was good.
Well,
Jake's Custom Parts, good to see you.
The right one on T the Silver Stacker. I'm sure he didn't take down his live streams.
Right? Yeah, we should go back and see if that. No, I don't think. Though we've had many a good run-ins with T the Silver Stacker in competitive bidding, but I think that particular time that we went off on the blood bar was with Coin Crew, Mr. and Mrs. Coin Crew.
No, the only place I ever got the blood bar from was T the Silver Stacker.
Well, maybe the blood bar, but our bar, I'm pretty sure the one where it got bid up so high. No, I'm positive that one was on Coin Crew, because I know we were both on T's all the time as well, but Coin Crew is where. Oh, and wait. Maybe Coin Crew is where we got, and there was another one where we got into it on the Russian coin.
That I can believe on Coin Crew, but
Yeah.
I was throwing in insurance bids, and I was just a little bit above $600 on that blood bar, and you bid just underneath me, you little turd. That was on T.
Oh man, those were good times.
I'll never, ever forget you doing that to me. William, I remember Tiger outbidding me. You know what the funny thing is if I wanted something bad, I wouldn't stop it because I would want it. But on top of it, I always enjoyed competition. But sometimes I didn't even want something. I just wanted to see if I could snipe.
No doubt. Yeah, no, those are fun.
Yeah. So if I lost on a bid, I never was mad. If I didn't win on a snipe, I was never mad. But I did enjoy sniping. You know, although, you know, when you're talking about being a tiger, you don't snipe, you pounce.
Yeah, some vicious claws over there for sure. Yeah, William, I think we all have some memories to that same effect. If you bid with Tiger, you probably definitely remember being outbid by him.
Yeah, well, I'm not doing that now. You know, until I can get back to regular work. I got this job that doesn't pay very well at all. Just recently re-got it. It's a long story. It's a horrible payer, but some money's better than no money. Plus,
Yeah.
I can do the job virtually at home on my computer, so I don't have to go drive to people's homes and do this job at their homes. Plus, deal with the horrible terrain of West Virginia, losing cell signal, losing GPS signal, maybe being in someone's home that's really an unhealthy place to be, being exposed to their infectious diseases with me getting chemo and immunotherapy and radiation therapy. I can go from, if they keep their appointments, that's another thing. A lot of them don't keep their appointments, and if they don't keep their appointments, I don't get paid. So basically, I'll just sit at home, do them all back to back virtually if they'll keep their appointments. They don't pay very well, but like I said, some money's better than no money. And the more I earn, the less of this I have to sell.
For sure.
So, you know, at least it gives me something to do, although sometimes I don't want to do the job. I'd rather start doing the next video.
Yeah.
Can you imagine being able to stay at home, do what you love to do on YouTube, and being able to support your family? You get done, you go into the house, see your spouse, maybe talk her into going to International House of Pancakes. You know, sometimes, oh, dude, I introduced her to a Vietnamese restaurant here in town. Never been to one myself. Neither has she. That's one of her favorite places to go, you know, except right now we're waiting for the main cook to come back because right now they're just doing some simple things. But when the main cook comes back, she's told me we're going again because she loves Vietnamese food now.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's fun finding new stuff like that and little shops, little locally owned places. You can find some amazing, unique dishes that just hook you. So that's always fun. I like looking for little places like that.
Yeah. So it's a little hole in the wall, dude. It's not as expensive as other places. It's a little hole in the wall. The missus knows the wife and I very well. And that whole thing. I'm going to read a comment here. Knackers or O'Reilly Tiger, you should try to get the XAG Tiger Bar, and it will fit your theme nicely. I don't know what the XAG Tiger Bar is.
XAG Tiger. Yeah, I wonder Where are you finding that, Knackers? Is that a Australian Perth mint item? He's over there in the down under area, so I don't know if that's a local thing or not. Let us know what you're thinking, Knackers. So yeah, we've got silver right now at 73.31, gold at 45.75.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
nice.
I was not sure where it would go. I mean, it went down into the 60s. And if you look at things, it was approaching the 100-day moving average. If it was going to go through the 100-day moving average, then it would drop even further, approaching the 200-day moving average. If it would drop through the floor on the 200-day, then it was going to go down into like 48 potentially. And there's no guarantee what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So I went ahead and took a gamble because it was getting a little low. So I ended up contacting our friend Ian. And normally when I'm really low, I'll sell 100 ounces of silver. But I decided I don't know if it's going to go up. I don't know if it's going to go down. So I'll sell 50 ounces. So that type of thing. So
yeah. So yeah, I was saying it might, obviously we're kind of everybody was expecting a pullback from 120. I thought it would be severe. It turned out that little smash there was pretty eye-opening.
Yeah.
But I said I thought maybe 70, and did drop down there for a day or two, just a little below. But it's right in the area I was thinking.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see if we pull back further. If we pull back even further than this, that's going to be a great buying opportunity, in my opinion.
Yeah, I understand.
So I will be loading up as I can. I'm still buying in this area too. And I was buying up at $80 too, because I just, for a lot of people, this is just kind of a one-time glitch. For me, this is just confirmation of what I thought was coming, and a chance for me to, get a little bit more while the price is down. For me, this is just the beginning of a much bigger move. So.
I think I found that Tiger bar. If you pull me up, we'll see if this is what. Shoot, I forgot the name. Shame on me.
Oh, I got it here. Let me pull this one down. There we go.
Is that the Tiger bar that you were mentioning?
Oh, nice. Yeah, I like it's got some claw marks in there. It does. Looks like Tiger's been auctioning there for sure.
Yeah. Might
have to pick one of those up myself. That's kind of nice. Who is that? That's Private Compass Bullion bar or something?
I just Googled it and this one came up. I'm assuming that that's what they're talking about. Never heard of Compass Bullion before.
So
it's got to be this, because this seems to be their logo. There's different sizes, and it seems to be their logo.
Yeah. So yeah, we've got. Let me pull that. So Andre Lucas, welcome into the Beehive. Good to have you. Don't think I've seen you in here. Appreciate you being here. He's asking, what's the best or more stable currency for the future other than gold? Will the dollar fall into disuse? So in my opinion, yeah, I started stacking in 2017, looking at the financial market, the dollar, the world's reserve currency, and learned about the currency, inflation, us coming off of the gold standard being what made us the world's reserve currency, is because we had the most gold, and after the war we kind of had other people's gold, and so we just held on the gold and used the dollar as a gold receipt or substitute, and it was exchangeable for real gold, and that's what gave the dollar its the fiat USA paperback, its value is originally you could swap it for gold at a stated rate, $33 back in the day. And but then after a war and lots of spending, like in the Vietnam War, we were spending lots of cash or printing money out of thin air, and some of the other countries thought, I think they're printing more fiat paper than they have gold to back it. And I believe it was France was one of the first countries that brought a ship over and said, load me up with my gold, I'll do the exchange, and here's your paper dollars, give me your gold. And I think they gave them some gold, but at the same time they closed the gold window or the exchange from those paper dollars to gold in like 1973 or something like that.
So it was 71. A couple
71. Okay.
Yeah, it was $35. That's what happened in 1933, 34.
And so then when we went off,
it was 1971 when Nixon
closed the window.
And that really was a true confiscation, but not a confiscation of the citizens. It was a confiscation of other countries. They didn't want to give back the gold that the other countries gave to them to hold.
Yeah, and that when we shut that window, it put the whole world on a fiat standard or la land, basically. And the president's statement when he went out and said, I'm closing temporarily, he said, closing the gold window, but don't worry, we'll be an honest trading partner, meaning we're going to keep honest books and we're not going to print more currency than we should, and we'll be an honest trading partner. But when we went into that never land of unsure backing and just trusting that we're going to keep honest books, that put the whole world on a fiat standard that's never kind of been done before. And so it's kind of like an experiment we've been in for the past 80 years. And that experiment is coming to a close. We've proven, in my mind, that's why I started stacking, is we've proved that the Keynesian idea of just being able to manage your books or print what you want to, and it won't debase the value or devalue the currency, to me has been proven a lie. And so, yes, your question of which currency is going to be the most stable for the future, I think it's really important, firstly, to establish the wording you're using there is very good and accurate. Currency. Our fiat paper global standard US dollar is a currency. It's not actual money. And so one of the biggest bankers in the world, JP Morgan, in Congress under oath stated that gold is money, everything else is credit.
What's kind of funny, because this whole Keynesian economics, I did a video piece with Rob Keents, very highly intelligent fella.
Yeah.
And then you mentioned JP Morgan. JP Morgan didn't want us on gold. He wanted us on paper money, and he wanted us to not have a really good education. He only wanted us to be smart enough to do the job to make his life better. He also teamed up with a guy named Dewey. I forget his first name. Dewey from the Dewey Decimal System, from the thing he invented for the libraries. They wanted all of us to be as dumb as possible so that they can be in charge. And the way it was explained on that interview I did with Rob Keents is that those two, believe it or not, were socialists. Isn't it funny how the people who have the money want a socialistic system to stay in charge?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Yeah. So back to your question there, Andre, which, what's going to be the more stable currency? Will the dollar fall into disuse? I believe yes, or at least they're going to continue to print because they either have to print or it goes into a recession. And so I think they're going to keep printing to keep their whole military complex going. and therefore that's going to devalue our currency at a high rate. And since we're already at the edge of very strong inflation, this next printout is, I think, gonna hit us really hard. So inflation will probably run faster now than it has before, in my opinion. And therefore, yeah, you're definitely asking the right question. Which currency is going to be the most stable? I would say, like you're saying, gold. Gold. I consider gold as safety and stability and a preserver of wealth through these, especially through these types of times where a country or an empire is collapsing. And so gold is going to be, I think, key. But I also, for me, since I have the confidence that I do in what's going on, I'm going to silver. I think silver actually has more upside, more of an A-shaped investment. Basically, there's very little downside to it with many use cases, and plus I think the use cases themselves are already have us in like a 6-year deficit using more silver than we're pulling out of the ground. Plus that's with no monetary demand. And I think as the monetary collapse start happening in the fiat dollar, all of the world, not just the US, this is going to be a worldwide thing. So that's why I think it's such a big deal. I think a lot of that value that has nowhere to go is going to start searching for somewhere to go, because it can no longer remain in that world standard fiat dollar, American dollar. So it's going to start looking for places to go. And I think the metals will be the best performer of accepting or swallowing that value. Therefore, gold and silver are going to have the most upside potential, with silver even outdoing gold in movement to the upside, in my opinion. So depending on what type of a money base you have, if you already have a lot of money, I wouldn't have a problem with someone going into gold, because you can hold a lot of value in a small package. But if you're like me and every little cent that you can get, and you're very hungry because you don't have much savings. So that's why I go into silver, because I think not only is it safety from a falling dollar, it will preserve your purchasing power. I think with all the use cases for it today, it's actually going to be a better performer than gold. So that's about as good as I can do with that statement. And of course, there's some other metals that you can look at.
If you're going to rely more heavily on silver, you got to watch those charts very frequently, because those things will change very quickly.
Yeah, and that's the other thing you want to keep in mind is, what's your time outline? I'm in it for the very long haul, at least until the fiat currency system that we know, that I've grown up with, this world reserve currency being the dollar that I'm used to, until that fails, crashes, or totally changes value points, and I see something else taking off that's going to settle everything out. This is my thesis. I'm sticking with gold and silver. What other things might hold value like that? I mean, there's a lot of people are into cryptocurrency. I personally think that's part of the trap, to entrap people into this new slavery system that they're trying to create. That's my own personal opinion. But so there may be some values there. There's going to be gold and silver backed tokens. Those might be very valuable because of the ease of transactions, as in on a credit card, actually backed by true gold and silver. Those are possibilities. It's, of course, you want to level out your wealth, right? Like if you have a family like I do, a house and a place to keep your kids warm and fed is an important thing. So maybe some in real estate, but although I think real estate can be really good, I think it's actually kind of overvalued and may fall a little bit, but it's something that you need to have, so you kind of got to value those things out. Ultimately, yeah, I would say for me, the metals are going to be best overall. Plus, they're the most private. They have the least counterparty risk, right? There's really no counterparty risk there, as long, you might want to spread out your stash different places. But yeah, that's my take on things.
Just don't stash them at with the federal government, because they might do another Nixon on you.
Yeah, be very careful. Trusting banks and safety deposit boxes. I don't know if there haven't been more old people taken from safety deposit boxes. It's just a current news headline that some elderly woman got millions taken out of her deposit there at the bank, and nobody knows where it went to. And
Did you ever watch a TV show called Pretty Little Liars?
I don't think so.
It was about a bunch of girls that were friends in high school, and there was some really evil troll type of person that was causing all problems for them. It had multiple little side storylines. And one of the side storylines, one of the mothers who worked in a bank was facing losing her home and a few other things. Found out that one of their customers had passed away. So she got into her safe deposit box and pretty much took out all the cash that the woman had stashed in there. When the family came to open up the box, there was basically nothing in it.
Oh.
So, I mean, you don't know who's going to take it.
Don't know who's taking it. Could be very high value and also sentimental, right? Like that's a lot of the problem is the sentimental attachment that's with those things, not just the value.
Oh, there's a lot of truth with that. A last live I did with Frosty, I showed a coin from Niue. It's actually slabbed. The only reason I bought it was because it's from The Lion King, and The Lion King has got a special place in my heart because my son was born that year, and that movie is one of the few movies that shows a really strong father-son relationship. And even though my son has taken a turn for not a good turn, I still love him. And the thing is that if I have to completely liquidate everything, it's going to be one of the last things that I'd have to sell.
Yeah,
the love that you have for a child never goes away. In fact, to be honest with you, I'd get rid of Princess Diana before I got rid of the Lion King one.
Yeah, I can believe that.
Although I love Princess Diana, Charles was such a moron.
Yeah.
He had a woman that loved him completely, and way prettier than the lady he got married to.
Yep. That was quite an ordeal. I didn't follow it too closely, but it seemed like she was knowing what was going on before it happened too. It's kind of sad.
Yeah.
Welcome in, Nigurki 6. Much going on. I did want to mention before I get on to other subjects, this was kind of about a channel update in my health as well. And that's what I had Tiger on here, and of course I like chatting with him anyway, but he did such a good job with his health and how he handled it with the channel. I thought I'd have him on to back me up on things. But I too have had some health issues, and may have some going forward. When I started this channel, I did have this health issue, and I knew a day may come where interference would come into play, and that day was a few months ago. So I know I've missed a few shows that I was normally doing of late, and that is just due to my health and the situation that life has me in right now. And there's sometimes life happens like that, and all we can do is what we can do when we can do it. And that's what I'm going to go ahead and try to carry forward doing. I'm trying to give people a heads up to what is coming, because amazingly, I think I'm just not I'm not impressed at all with our American society and schooling system right now, and how I think there's been many lies perpetuated to us. And so I think that there's a lot of people that are gonna, like the safety deposit box thing, people are taught to trust a little bit too much, and they don't understand that even right now with the banking system, when you put your money in the bank, it's no longer your money, and people don't really even understand that or know that. And so they've changed so many of the little policies, and you're supposed to have 10% on hand at the bank, fractional lending. Now that's even out the window. So I think there's so much deception wrapped up in our system that they're not going to be forthright in telling people when it's ready to crash. And therefore, I thought, well, I can do nothing, or at least I can come out and try to, spread the news a little bit of my take on what's happening. And, I talked pretty steadily for quite a while that I thought there was going to be a coming jump in silver. And I think that has taken place. And I think that it's just the beginning signs, as I say, of a bigger move. And I think it's just confirmation that what I was viewing in the currency system that we're using, the petrodollar system, that it is, coming apart. And there's, once you kind of learn the system and how it works, that's what makes you want to become a stacker. And so, I wasn't sure for the first as sure, but as the years progressed through it, I only became more positive. And then with this last big move, I think it's just kind of confirmation that is what's taking place. So, that's what I was trying to do. And I think Tigers, well, we want to get out here and, warn people, let them know, because I think we love our country and our family and friends, and we don't want, harm to come to any of us. So I think it's better foreknown, and it's not a fun subject to get out and tell people, and although I love what our founding of this country has done, it's given so many people freedom, and freedom of religion, and freedom to, pursue life, liberty, and happiness. I think these things were very positive for society, but I think we've gotten off track and gotten corrupted. And I think that they're going to try to pull some of these strings and kind of enslave a lot of people they're asleep and unaware and too trusting. And, like it says in the Constitution, enemies foreign and domestic. And it's like, we don't want to think that there could be a domestic taking going on, but I feel that that's been happening for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I'm out here trying to do. And when life gets you in a corner, and like with your health, often we're talking about stacking and keeping food and water and so that you can preserve the health of your family, and that's such a huge thing is your health, and if you don't have health, you can't do lots of things, and lots of it doesn't matter at that point, So for me, having a family, it's still very prevalent. But as people say, health is wealth, and if you don't have your health, your life is not going to be as wealthy as it could be. So all very true statements, and it is very important to pay attention to your health. Take care of yourself, take care of your family, be aware of the other problems that I think exist in our society right now. A lot of them stemming from having a bad, corrupt money system, because once money printing becomes a thing and you can just print money from nowhere and have it have value and be able to give it to your friends, or corrupt the system and say, here's, $1 million, go make this happen, or go make, here's $1 million, go carry out a campaign ad to change people's mind in a certain way. Or, you start spending money on things that you wouldn't normally spend money on, because it's, when it's earned properly, as it should be, it takes lots of time and effort. And So you plan it out, and you know what, when you finally get that money, you already know where it's going to go, and it's going to go to something positive. When it's just corrupt money coming in and it has to go somewhere, that's where lots of these crazy laws and weird corruption starts coming into society. And I think that's what we're experiencing. And so yeah, you need your health, you need your wealth, you need food, water, and a stability that can be able to handle some of the deceptions that are coming down the line, let alone just affording your food and your the roof over your head. So I think we're coming into a rough period, and sadly, the thing that kind of makes it even more nerve-wracking, in my opinion, is I don't think it's just happenstance.
No,
It's not. It's not just happening by accident. This is kind of, in my opinion, a long-standing plan that they're trying to put in it without the care for a lot of people's lives or values, or they plan on, completing their plan, and they don't care how much corruption. It's by force and not by free will, is a lot of what it boils down to. But anyway, I will do what I can when I can on this channel. I really appreciate all my subscribers and friends. I love being able to discuss these things with people who also see what's going on. When you're one of the few people who looks at the system and thinks that certain things are happening, and you're trying to explain it to people, and they look at you with a blank stare on their face, it's like, it's frustrating. So being able to come out and talk to other people and get their opinions and their views and support and just awareness to be awake and look at things going on around you is very refreshing. So appreciate you all, and I'll do what I can to keep things going here on the channel. So just forgive me if I drop off the map for a little while. It's just kind of out of my hands sometimes, and but I'll do what I can, and I appreciate you all. So with that, I'll get back to the regular scheduled program.
Well, before we do that, let me pop in there, okay?
Yeah.
And for those of you in chat here with us, first of all, thank you all for coming, and thank you all for letting LLC tell you what's going on. I know he didn't give you any details, and I would respectfully ask you to respect his wishes and not ask for details. And respectfully, don't ask me for details, because I won't tell them to you. First of which is, I live by a certain set of rules and regulations, and one of which is don't betray your friends. So you will lose relationships, whether it's a friend, a job related, a parent-child, a marital, by betraying your friends, not keeping their secrets. Another one's taking advantage of someone financially. So don't ask me. I'm not going to tell you. Okay. So don't even bother.
I appreciate that, Tiger. And,
okay.
Yeah, that's what, like Space Miner, I appreciate you saying that. And yeah, the community it's a privilege to be welcomed into the community, and to be able to have friends like you guys who understand and support each other, and know that whether you have all the details or not, you can still be very supportive to a friend through it, and it can mean a lot. It can be a big deal to have someone support you and just be there for you, not even having to know all the details, but being there for you anyway. So
okay, and we're here for you, dude. Space Miner's been a close friend of yours. I've been a close friend of yours, despite you making me spend $600 on that bar of silver. So I'll never let you live that down. Anyway, with today's prices, it's now a little bit of a profit. Anyway, all joking aside, I've been seeing where people are saying it's been a conspiracy for 113 years, et cetera. it's been going on longer than that.
Yeah.
Long as man has had some form of money, there have always been people who take from another person.
Oh yeah.
In fact, I've done pieces on it. You're welcome to go see my channel and see it. The most recent one that was made reference, I took part of one of my previous videos and put it into the interview that I had with Jesse Day, where I showed the degradation of the Roman denarius and compared it yet again with the degradation of the American dollar.
Yeah.
This has been going on for thousands of years. I've also got a piece from a British banker by the name of Montague Norman, where he clearly states how to distract the people while they do what they want financially. Got that one from Ian. It's in it, to use a joke. That letter is in my permastack.
Yeah, I've got it too, actually. Yep.
So I've brought that up quite a few times on the channel. There's always going to be the people that want to take advantage of other people. So, yep. The key is education. Yep. I'm planning on getting a book that you all probably have heard of called The Creature from Jekyll Island. I'm planning on getting that and reading it. And I'm also planning on reading the child's version of it from the Tuttle twins. So that way, if and when my grandchildren come into the real world, or they're already here, but, they come into my life, I can give them the book and teach them, from a child's perspective, what they need to do to start preparing. In fact, that's actually the second reason I started my channel. Well, actually, it's the third. The first one is to teach my wife how to run her channel, but like most wives, they don't listen. The second reason was to tell my grandchildren that we love them. The third reason was to teach them, while I'm teaching all of you, teach them how to protect themselves and their future families with this stuff. Because it's not going to change. It's always going to be that way. And you're absolutely right. Knowledge is power. G.I. Joe. So, basically, not just take care of ourselves. That's the small thing, because we're only on this earth a short time.
Amazingly short. Happens so fast.
Yeah. So how do you continue when your life is over? You teach. You teach and you teach and you teach. And, if you can teach enough people, then you live on a little bit because your teaching lives on.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? In fact, I did a video not long ago. Did you see where I taught a little 8-year-old boy about silver?
I haven't. I knew you were going to be doing that. I haven't got to see it though yet. Was it good?
Oh, it was beyond good. Little 8-year-old boy who is the son of Attorney Chris Pritt, who is running for West Virginia State Senate.
Yeah.
He likes silver Eisenhowers. So we did a piece on silver Eisenhowers, and even though I only showed his hands, you could tell from his voice how excited he was. And if I didn't get permission, nor did I get refusal to show his face in the video. So without permission, I just went with the hands. But if you all could have seen his face, totally into it, bright-eyed, all into it, tickled to death, smart kid. In fact, I went to a dinner function, a political dinner function with Mr. Pritt, and his son was there. And he still retained everything. So I had the best time. I'm not able right now to teach my grandchildren, but I had a surrogate grandchild periodically, little Mr. Owen, that's his name, teaching him about silver Eisenhowers. And when we were there at the political function, there was some silver items up for what they call a silent auction. And he was totally tickled to death to go look at things and talked to him, told him about the coins. I'm telling you, stacking this stuff is fun. I think I enjoyed teaching Owen more than I enjoyed stacking.
Yeah, that's cool.
So teach.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun being able to share that type of knowledge with someone that has that much power behind it and can help someone. You know, if they're excited to hear about it, you know, and like you're talking, he's already into it somewhat, and yeah, that's awesome.
A little side note. One of my subscribers, he might be one of yours also, Frank McCain, sent a care package to my P.O. box for Owen. I gave that to him. Oh, my goodness.
Awesome.
His parents sent me a video clip from their iPhone about him opening up the package. Oh, my goodness. The kid lit up like Christmas.
Cool.
Teaching is just as fun as stacking.
Yeah. Yep. No, that's awesome. So I got a CD here from Chris Marcus with Arcadia Economics. I don't know if you watch his channel. He's an awesome channel. Knows a lot about silver. Been around a long time. Big heavy hitter. Great guy. Got to meet him in person not long ago, and got a CD that he's produced. So I just got this sent to me in the mail. It had a little crack in the mail, and so there
you go. You're doing crack again. What did I tell you?
Right. So I'm hoping that the CD itself is not broke, but if no, it's still in great shape. So hopefully I can get a listen to this. Maybe even get a mix on the. Might have to see if I can mix it a little bit in one of my sessions if I find something that I can work with.
Mm-hmm.
And so greatly appreciate that. Thank you, Chris. And then also I got a little miniature turntable I'm gonna unbox here while we're chatting.
Does it actually work?
Yeah, it's supposed to come with a few miniature records, and yeah, it's supposed to work and have a pitch adjustment, and so yeah, we'll see here in a second if it works or not. But yeah, so you know, I've been kind of expecting the Iran, or at least I gave it a high probability. You know, after hearing about the Houthis, I'm like, oh yeah, so you know, it's actually Iran that we're getting to, and sure enough. So, and I think for me, see, all of this stuff is connected to the monetary system, and so
are always connected to money.
Yeah, money, power lines, control grids. I think all that is the main things on the table.
Oh, it's always been the same way. It's just maybe, you know, instead of debasing paper money back during the Roman days, they were clipping the coins and then going to non-silver, non-gold, just base metals.
Yeah, just every time they would mention a new batch of coins for the next year, there'd be about 5% more, you know, junk metal mixed in with the silver. In the Roman days, they started out, their first denarii were like 90+% silver, like, you know, a nice, kind of like our 90% silver.
Mm-hmm.
And, but then each year that would be less. You know, the next year it was like 80, and then 60, and then 40, and then like 10, and then nothing. And so it was a slow debasement over time, which is interesting. But and that is true debasement. Like, you know, when you get really into terminology today, we often say debase the currency, but it's not actually debasing; it's just devaluing, right? But same idea.
But I think they're using the word because of the historical basis.
Yes, because it harkens back to it. Yeah, I agree. I think so. And if you can understand that, then it works well. But if you don't, then you know, then it does get kind of confusing. So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, today's currency is devalued. It's not debased. It just loses the value that it has. But anywho, debasement. Obviously, if you're understanding that silver is real money, and and you look at the Roman currency or money and how it was debased, that gives you about the clearest understanding of what's taking place, right? Like, I
Mm-hmm.
think it's a really good explanation tool is to
True.
go back to the real money of silver and gold and understand that's how it was first devalued, was by just adding in an unprecious metal in there, a non-precious metal, non-rare, non-useful, non-intrinsic valued metal. And so it's interesting to that mentally really helps you to structure, organize your thoughts on what's going on, in my opinion.
Well, one of the things that I'm doing, LLC, that you might want to do or not want to do, depending on what you're into, because I know you love woodworking and you're really good at it. Very. I got into things like pouring silver. This one's one of mine.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, it's 14.45 ounces. Now, these ones were from Silver Dragons. This one here I did. It's a lot smaller because I'm still learning how to get it to pour correctly. Getting the ears on these pieces to go right is not easy.
Oh,
but I started getting into something else, and I've been doing this as a project now for a little over a year, and I got a lot more to get into. But take a look at this.
Oh, cool! I like it. Nice.
This is a 1 ounce round. I did one with my logo on it, and did one with my wife's logo on it.
Oh, cool.
So, and
awesome. I like them.
I can't do them at home yet. I had some dies that were made. This is where I hold my dies right now, and then the people that made me the dies were able to press those because they had a stronger press than I've got. So I'm looking to try to get a press that's stronger than my little 10-ton press. I also have 1/10 ounce rounds in the same designs. My 1/10 ounce can press my 10-ton press can press a 1/10 ounce, but it won't have the pressure to make a whole ounce. So I've been looking for a stronger press, but I don't want to buy a new one because of the new prices. They're not nice.
I can imagine. Osmium Connect, welcome in. West Texas Stacker, good to see you, my friend. And Osmium Connect, I'm going to try to give you a call when I can. I'll get back to you as soon as I can here.
So if you're not purchasing a lot because finances, it sometimes takes the silver itch away when you can do something with it. Hey, West Texas Stacker. Oh, I got a question, West Texas. I see you, West Texas Stacker, and then sometimes I see Mr. and Mrs. West Texas Stacker. Are you guys like the same people or two different people?
He just likes to go both ways sometimes.
No, maybe it's West Texas when he does something by himself. Maybe it's when the wife and him are in the same room, they do a different thing. I don't know.
Think differently, Spaceman. Yeah, no doubt. Think differently. Yeah, that's another thing. Is the predictive programming in the movies and in Hollywood is quite profound, and it's another thing when you tie that into the rest of the things that you're looking at in society. It continues to connect the dots, I guess you might say. So it's crazy all the conditioning that we've been through and are going through, and
Mhm.
yeah,
They've been feeding us the Kool-Aid for a
a
long
long time indeed. That's
You
why
know,
I think, for me, like, and that's one thing with, when I first started this channel, I mentioned kind of in my opening videos, this is going to be about getting into precious metals and ancient coins, but I'm also not going to take the spiritual aspect out of this channel, because that was kind of how I approached things and got into the metals, was from that angle. And I think that all these things are panning out and showing themselves to be true, which also I believe will turn out to be true on the spiritual side, in that for me, you're going to need a solid foundation, to stand on going through what's coming, because I think there's all of these deceptions that have been fed to us throughout the years are going to start coming down on us hard. And I think they're going to shake everything and everybody, and all the things that we think are true that aren't true are going to fall apart. And if you don't have some good things that you're standing on, you might not have much to stand on, and that could make it very hard to get through some of the things that are coming. I think back personally to the COVID experience, and no matter what side of that you were on, to me it just kind of highlights how quickly things can change and the mentality of people can change. And if you're not understanding in what you're doing, you can easily be led to do one thing or the other, and especially with peer pressure involved. So yeah, I'll leave that one at that. But I think that there's, you're gonna want a good foundation, because they're gonna try to shake you off of your sanity, I think, which might not be as hard to do as we think. So yeah, that's what I'm working on anyway.
I'll tell you what, dude. Our sanity is a little stronger than what we think they are, for the same reason for both you and me. We both married up.
Yeah, no doubt. That's a true statement.
And I've heard how you and your wife interact, because I'm on the phone with you.
Yeah.
She's like there for you big time. My wife's been there for me big time. And, my whole life I've been with her. I've been nothing less than a workaholic, because I was always taught that the man, the husband, the father is supposed to bust his butt and provide. She's like, I'm home now for obvious reasons, more than what I had been. If I was independently wealthy, I probably would have been home more. But you got to go out there and earn a living to pay the bills.
Yep.
And she's like, you're so lovey. Da, 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 da. It's like we were dating. Well, when we were dating, I put time aside from work to get a good woman, and then I went back to work. Well,
yeah.
But now, years later, I've been with her 17 years, if I remember correctly. All the water that's under the bridge made me love her more than what I did when I first got together with her.
Yep.
Then when you're getting older, your love changes. You don't have the love of a young man.
Right.
You have the love of an older man.
Yep.
And, I appreciate her more. And that was before I got sick. And seeing her do things such as me doing this online virtual job, or making videos, she'll come in with a plate of eggs or something. Or she sees I got a little tired and I laid down, and she'll check on me. I was like, and I'm like, oh my God, that is so awesome. So you and I both married up, dude.
No doubt. No, it was a lifesaver for me. So yeah, I couldn't say enough about that. So I was in desperate need of finding who I found. So I consider myself lucky.
You needed a Mrs. B.
I did. I did. And I was very skeptical from my past upbringing, I was not in a good place mentally on some of those thoughts. So I'm happy that I found somebody that brought me back down to sanity.
Well, man by himself is not supposed to be by himself, with the exception, in my opinion, is if you're going to be part of the clergy and you're going to choose to be a monk. If you choose to be a monk, then, they have ways of teaching everyone how to live that type of life. And I respect the monks and the nuns. They have a certain way of living that they're just as fulfilled as if they were married. So, I have respect for them.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's quite a feat a lot of them take. I don't know all the ins and outs of it, but I know some of them will, like some of those Tibetan monks that I've, seen, I don't know what you'd call documentaries on or whatever. It's a full-time gig, kind of like kids, 24/7.
Well, there's a monastery in Wayne, West Virginia, and I'll give you a short synopsis of that. Back when the Soviets took over Russia and started the USSR, they went to the patriarch, which is, for lack of a better way of saying it, the Pope of the Orthodox Church in Ukraine, and wanted his blessing publicly for them taking over. And the patriarch told him no, because you murdered people to take over. You took over through the bones and blood of the wealthy. You stole their money.
By force, yep.
So that's why the Soviet system never liked the Orthodox Church. There was a bunch of people who was afraid that the Orthodox Church would get contaminated from politics, so they escaped into Serbia, called themselves the Russian Orthodox Church outside of Russia. And from Serbia, they moved into New York, and from there moved to other parts of America. Later called themselves the Russian the first name was the Russian Church in Exile. Later they adapted the name Russian Church Outside of Russia, or ROCOR for short. These individuals eventually integrated with Americans who chose to be Orthodox and later chose to be monks. And there's a monastery in the mountains of Wayne, West Virginia, and if I'm not mistaken, every one of the monks that lives in that monastery are American-born who converted and then became monks. And they live a very simple life, tiny little quarters. They don't try to have a whole lot of stuff. Roy Orbison, nice.
You got it. Johnny Cash, Roy Orbison, Jerry Lee Lewis.
Oh, yeah.
Carl Perkins. I don't know Carl Perkins. I probably know his music, but I don't know the name as much. But I probably know it if I hear it.
Be nice if you can get some additional records to put on that little player.
They do. They have a few more I seen that they were selling there. I'm sure it's not too big of a selection, but they had it to where you could buy just the turntable without records, and you could pick up a couple separately. And then they had a pack that already had some big names that I knew. I was like, okay, I'll just get that.
It's kind of silly to buy it without something to put on it.
Right, you got to get something to put on there. Yeah, let's see how this thing sounds. It says it has a built-in speaker, so I can play it from this, but you can also hook it into like a real stereo system, supposedly. So this is kind of just something.
The question is, do you want to play it at this point, considering how YouTube rules are?
I know. I'm wondering if this little vinyl here will flag me, and it probably will. But yeah, let's see what it looks like anyway. Little miniature.
Can you believe miniature? Early on, what was about 2 years ago, I did something a cappella, and YouTube gave me a warning.
That's crazy. I remember that. Yeah, I'm surprised you got a warning for that.
Yeah, I took it out and they took away the warning.
Huh. Craziness.
I think it was just a little tiny blurb from a Donny Osmond song.
They knew they better not let that get out or you'd go famous overnight.
Well, dude, you know what? I've had actual dreams where I've actually met Donny Osmond and we recorded a piece together, and YouTube was giving me a hard time, and Donny had to contact him and say, leave him alone. You know?
Wow. It's kind of cool. Got that original Sun Record Company label on there.
Nice.
Got a little protective sleeve and a little, looks like some information packet. Johnny Cash.
I remember when he was big. Oh my goodness.
Oh, Johnny's always big, man. He's the man. He plays slow. If he could play any faster, he would, but I like that line. I'd play faster if I could, but
I like that comment from West Texas Stacker. Mrs. pulled me straight out of the gutters. I think that's a lot of us guys.
Yep. And I was talking earlier, you know, it's sad what they're doing to the women. Like, I think in my generation, the women got fed such lines of BS, like, you know, that they need to be a man and do all the things that a man does, and don't, you know, be single and you're better off, you're more strong. Like, all of that was just a bunch of, like, so defeating to both sides. Like, what a horrible thing that was.
Well, I think that was planned for a few different reasons. One of them was to debase the heterosexual family-oriented male, debase the family, with the male being the base of the stability of the family.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so basically, you know, honestly, that's just one of the reasons. The other reason is they wanted the women out working, so there would be more taxable dollars. So let's see here. Space Miner, Tiger, you should try some of the William Shatner stuff. Should be easy to trigger.
Oh, for singing?
He only had one song. He was a one and done, a one-hit wonder.
Yeah.
I forget what song it was. Now you got me interested in finding out.
Oh, we're going to plug this in here. One more outlet here. Come on. Oh, yeah.
Rocket Man. Most famous for his dramatic spoken word cover of Elton John's Rocket Man. He's also known for his cover of Pulp
Fiction?
Maybe Pulp Fiction, but didn't put the second word in there. Pulp's Common People.
Oh, I don't know. Slow to Speak 99. Welcome into the Beehive. Good to have you. Jesus Christ is Lord, and he is coming back soon. All right.
Not soon enough.
Right.
Actually, to be honest with you, I had a emotional meltdown a few years ago about Jesus coming, knowing that what the state of the world would be in. Perpetual war, perpetual death to Christians, you know, very scary stuff. And the wife looked at me and says, "Why be scared? Our Lord's coming. And if you die, you're with him. And if you don't die, you're still going to be with him. We win." I'm like, okay. And from that day, it's been a whole lot easier.
All right, let's see if we got power, we got turning. It's a big part of that's volume as well. Power and volume button. Looks like we've got speed control over here. Nice. I think we only got 33 revolutions a minute, but All right, let's see. Oh, let me get the cap off this.
What's the typical speed of a typical album?
33 is kind of the standard.
Okay.
I like 45 and a lot of back in the highlight of the vinyl DJ era. You wanted the full album. You wanted one song basically covering the full side of an album instead of like an album has like say 5-6 songs on each side.
Yeah.
We wanted one song taking up that whole side of the record at 45 RPMs, and it's just an overall good setting to DJ with. But nowadays, and pretty much overall, 33 is a standard album setting.
Okay.
All right, let's see if we can get any noise out of this thing.
Little short albums.
I'm checking out. Y'all good to hear from you guys. Good team for topic tonight. Right on, Space Miner. Thanks for hanging out. Have a good night. Tell the family hello.
Good night, Space Miner.
I got this turntable at there's a shop here in Denver called Mile High DJ. It's for DJs. It's a specialized little shop, and they have like some miniaturized items, and this is one of them. It was kind of cool, so I picked it up. If you're interested, let me know. I'm sure it's from Crosley, so that's like Crosley makes really cheap turntables that are, Walmart style. So you could probably find it elsewhere. Oh, nice.
Everybody knows where you go when the sun goes down.
Woo! Better not play too much, but there you go.
I got a question here. As I understand it, most songs have some sort of computerized stuff in there to let YouTube know, that this was by such and such a person, etc., which could set them off. But if it's on vinyl, does that thing still exist?
Yeah, no, it's the actual audio is what the algorithms catch or the computer catches. So when you upload a song, so like if I produce a song, which I have, and if I was to play that on the net, and its first playtime comes from you. In fact, I think you can even lock it in further than this, but that basically makes you the owner of it. Nowadays, however, it used to be you had to, find a record label to join, right? And they have to listen to your music, and if they think it's good enough, then they might let you on your record label. And then when you're go through those channels, they have a record producer that locks in the music, and so then they attach a name to that and copyright it. And same as with branding of Nike, where they have this type of setting on their letters, and they have this color setting, and so then they get that patented, kind of that same type of idea.
Yeah. Well, I know that I was able for a long time to do my intro with all the animals and all that, and had music in it. The last 3 times I did it, I had to take it out because I got a warning from YouTube.
Really?
Yeah. And just recently I uploaded a video that's waiting for me to release it. And I got the same thing. And we were getting the music from Epic Sound, and I paid for Epic Sound. So actually my brother-in-law helped me do all that. So I sent an email off to my brother-in-law saying, do we need to pay Epic Sound again? Or what's going on? So I had one of 3 options. Either A, actually maybe 4 of them. A, let it play, release it, and I'd get no monetization. B, take it down. send it up there with the version that had no sound. And there are pieces of it I thought would be boring without music. C, he had to create, because he's created music for me from AI, and he did a piece where a piece of music. My God, the guy is so freaking fast. He's able to do stuff that in a fraction of the time that I'm able to do what I can. I can't make music, but he's done that. He's just been amazing. And so I've re-uploaded that video with the new music, and under monetization, I'm good, and under restrictions, I have none, because this was you can't copyright it, because he just, he made it from nothing.
Yeah.
So,
well, like I say, I think that like wherever it gets played from first now, kind of links it to that account type thing, So.
Yeah. Did you see the video he did for me for my birthday?
It seems like I did. I'm not 100% positive on that. That was a while ago, right?
Yeah, that was November.
Yeah, I think I saw it.
Drops out of the ceiling. You have a lot of the people that I'm friends with. We had Ian playing the violin. Stacking Surfer playing the
I think I've seen that. You had Nicole or
piano. The pawn shop ladies playing guitars, all sorts of different things. He did that all from AI scratch.
Yeah.
He just recently sent me a clip for a happy birthday for my wife's birthday. And oh my goodness, the guy's like beyond amazing.
Cool. Sorcerer Stan, good to see you.
Hey, Sorcerer Stan.
Cool. Well, that's awesome. I think I covered most of what I was looking to cover for tonight. Just wanted to come on and say, if I drop off on occasion, you'll have an idea of what might be going on. So, I definitely appreciate everybody, and we'll do what we can going forward and bring you some more good information and have some more fun going down the line as this thing continues to unwind, because I think we're just in the beginning of it. So
what do you have coming up for your upcoming new projects?
Well, I'm going to kind of change things around on my scheduling because of the way things are going. I'm thinking my next auction is number 50. So I want to figure out a little something to do with that, probably have some giveaways and whatnot. And then I'm going to probably just do more like one a month instead of every other Wednesday on that. And probably get some more interviews in between, and then keep the Saturday night spinning bin. I may do some Friday nights along with it too as well. So it's kind of where I'm at now. I might bring some channels from a little bit different genre on as well. Because I think as things progress, I kind of covered the silver top, which obviously that's, the main basis of this channel is the precious metals and ancient coins. I'm going to, press into ancients more, of course, with Aaron and what I can get into there. And, but I'm also thinking to bring in some of these other aspects of the hardships that are coming, right?
Yeah.
And I have also some connections. Of course, like we've got a little place where we do some gardening. I think that's a good idea to start trying to get some gardening going if you can help too. Any type of natural fruit. We planted like raspberry bushes and blueberry, like a bunch of bushes with berries, and those things have taken off, and they actually produce quite quite a few berries. We have grapevines that produce a lot of grapes, and just your natural gardening stuff, right?
Mhm.
And that stuff keeps pretty good, and you can produce quite a bit of food that way. I think that's important for people to start, trying to dabble a little bit there if they can. And then, yeah, just in some of the other information, like I know you've worked with solar, right? You had somebody come on with solar. You still work with them? Ever talk with them much, or?
Actually, I had them come to the house to do a whole solar program for the house. The wife was not happy about the price, and she wanted a local person to bid. It wasn't much different, although their plans had there was never a good plan where to put the panels. With Ben, who's from Powered Portable Solar, it was all scientifically designed, pointing in the right direction, but it would be unsightly. The other company that was local wanted to put it all over the roof, but a large part of my roof is not in the right angle. So there'll be panels that will be producing almost no electricity. So she had a complete meltdown about price and all that. So I went ahead and didn't follow through with it. Although I think now she's looking at not having an issue with us doing solar generators and connecting them to things such as refrigerators, freezers, essentials,
Yeah.
so that you don't lose your medicine or your food.
Yeah.
So, that type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's important. In mine, I have some solar, and that's really nice. For one, you got to make sure that it stays on when the grid goes down. Like that's, some people, of course, you need batteries for that to happen.
Sure.
A lot of people get solar and they don't do that. The power goes down and theirs goes down with the power. That would drive me nuts, oh man. But anyway,
it makes no sense to have it that way.
I was just, I guess you possibly cut back on some of your costs, but that's just defeating the whole point for me. So.
Yeah, if solar without batteries is, because as soon as the sun goes down, you're out.
Yeah. And that's also key, is that it's easily programmable to just keep certain items running, right? Like if the power goes down, you can have, okay, well, let's let everything go down except for the freezer and the fridge or whatever item it is that you're wanting to keep up. So,
well, the other side of the coin is a few years back, I bought the biggest air-cooled Generac generator. And when we've lost power, and it's always been because of bad weather, the Generac would kick in. And, we're probably at 50 or 60% of what the house could potentially use at full maximum power usage. So you just pick and choose what you want to use. It wouldn't be as like just straight solar generators for one or two electrical items. But the downside is if the natural gas gets turned off, we're just like everybody else. So my wife's like, they owe us money because I send them money every month. They owe us money. I'm like, leave it alone. Because if we get a long time of no power and that generator is being used for a long period of time, we won't have to pay a bill because it's already paid.
Yeah.
Last time I looked, I'm like $500+ that they owe us.
Positive, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
And the thing is that it's very reassuring because my house is 100% electric, and if we lose our power, we lose our heat.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
Although I am possibly looking at, and tell me what you think of this. Those little wood pellet stoves to keep the house warm?
My brother has one, yeah.
I'm thinking about getting one or two or three. My house has like 3,500 square feet between two levels. I'm thinking about getting one or two or three. I'm told that even after the initial investment of the hardware plus the wood pellets, there won't be nearly as much cost as there would be with the electricity being used to keep the house warm.
Yeah, no, I think that's for sure. Yeah. Especially with what's coming, I think that'll be even more true coming in the future here.
Yeah, there's some truth with that. And the thing is that I'd rather keep this house warm. The downside, it's not like a real fireplace or a real wood burning stove. You have to actually get the pellets. And if you run out of pellets, then you might be SOL.
Right. Yeah. You want to keep a supply on hand, but I know my brother's been happy with his, I think. So, hey, Sublime, did you get your package, bud? Letting me know. All right. Well, that was pretty much what I had. Thank you, Tiger, for coming and hanging out with me, giving me some support. Is there anything else you'd like to cover before we get out of here? You got to remember, everybody, Tiger has a live stream with International Stacker tomorrow. I'm
8
sure
p.m.
everybody here knows, both of these channels, Tiger Stacker and International Stacker, but they're both great channels. So stick around for tomorrow evening. I think he said 8 o'clock, somewhere in that time vicinity, depending on where you're at in the wide world. But yeah, keep your eye out for that. That should be good. What else would you like to throw in there, Tiger?
8 p.m. Eastern time. So if you're in a different time zone and you know how to connect it, that's great. So 8 p.m. Eastern. I think it's going to be a really good show. So I'd love for you all to come. Yeah, that's cool when that does that. So basically, long story made short, is that come and see that. I've got one video that I might release on Friday on a way to buy silver eagles that you might or might not, depending on what you want to do. So I'm not going to say any more than that. Just please come and see that. As far as you go, I got your back, brother.
Cool. Well, thank you, Tiger. I appreciate that. It's good to have that support.
I've had your back ever since we stopped fighting each other after the blood bar.
Good to hear. Me too, bud. I got you too. So greatly appreciate it. Everybody out there in chat, thank you so much for hanging out. And we got more good stuff coming. And check out Tiger and International Stacker tomorrow. And we will catch you all on the next one. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, guys.